All right, y'all. Welcome to the Plus Plus show. Well, we got like a few extra special guests here. So not just me, we got Charles. And then go ahead and tell us who are you? Who are you? And what is this?
Go ahead.
I'm Mike. Here with Elite.
Oh, he's showing the
know.
branding too. Okay. Hats for
There's like
sale coming
a
soon.
big E on the
Oh,
Tesla.
hang on. That's the same E on the Tesla, right?
Yeah.
That's
back
the
there.
same E back on the Cybertruck.
Ooh.
Here to turn you on.
Hey.
That was fire. That was fire.
We going in like that, huh?
No, that was cold.
He's used that one in the bar. I know it.
And I'm Steven with Elite Electric out of Wichita, Kansas.
He was all calm. He's all subtle. He's all subtle. He's like, he took my line.
You ain't got a tagline?
It's yeah.
All right. Well, cool thing is, like, so first off, you guys from Kansas, y'all are traveling, doing big things. We were just talking about y'all are getting into like government contracting and stuff like that. Can you kind of tell us like how you started in business and what's this journey been like? Because I just see you guys all over social media crushing it now. Like, but
So started in 2019. I started with the buddy Luis and then one of our buddies, Larry. Started 2019, so we've been in business 5 years. Kind of just through networking and like in Wichita, networking, and face-to-face kind of interactions, just a big thing over there to get your name out there. So started through networking. A lot of it was the branding, always rocking the merch and the gear, and just from there just started growing. Brought Mike on a year ago, last month. So
Mike the Enforcer, by the way. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So now it's we got a team of 12, I think, right now. So,
okay.
Yeah, we got 12.
But no, we're just hit 5 years and looking forward to growing.
So I got a question though, because like y'all are like relatively young guys. Like I think of like electric companies before y'all. I was like, it's like older guys dominating the space. Like in 5 years ago, you'd have been even younger. Like how did you grow so fast? Like y'all being so young and to be honest, like cool. Like because electric I don't think of like cool hip guys running around in Cybertrucks. Like
And why electricians too? Like why did you want to be why electrician company as well?
So I mean, in the construction realm, the electricians they're known for being bougie. Like
That's true.
They're kind of known for that.
oh, you came from construction. Too.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I was a foreman in GC. So
But for myself, I just in college I was going to Wichita State for electrical engineering, and then kind of wanted to do something that was more hands-on. I joined the military as an electrician, so wanted to use something that I could use outside the military. So chose that. Did 12 years in the military while going to school, and then the apprenticeship. So just something I've just been in since I was 19, just something to grow. That's why I guess I'm an electrician, just as a job in the military I could get. I got a little $20,000 bonus. So
He's like,
I was like, yeah, man.
I'm messing with volts and
Yeah.
watts. And shit.
Yeah.
It's definitely the 20 Gs.
oh yeah.
It's like I'd have been a circus performer. That's cool.
Do you recommend like people? I was thanking for your service. I didn't know you were ex-military, so that's awesome. Do
Appreciate it.
you recommend people going through like the military to get like a?
I was gonna ask the same
master,
question.
because you could do that for plumbing. You could do
Yeah.
that electric. Like, do you recommend that? And like, what was that journey for you?
I would say yes. I wouldn't recommend it. First off, I mean, I would recommend going to a trade school before doing the military route, unless you just didn't know what you wanted to do, or you just wanted to serve your country. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of leadership skills from being in the military. There's the 12 years I was in there, I learned a lot of things that probably got me to where I'm at now and got my mindset to where it needed to be. But it's a good way to do it. But trade schools, as far for plumbing, HVAC, electric, I would for sure recommend that to anybody. It's a good way to get a high-paying job, a career you're always going to use, and also have no money, very little money in, with no debt. So, yeah.
Now let's talk about you, cause like
The enforcer.
yeah, This first time I've actually met you in person. Last time I met you, you was on Zoom. You weren't smiling. You was just like, what do y'all sell? What do y'all do?
What does it do?
So how did you get into?
That is the impression that y'all left with.
Of course.
Nah, we knew you were cool, but like at first, like, oh, I gotta get Mike on a Zoom. I was like, Mike, who? And then, like, you got this giant screen and Mike just looking at us like,
It really was looking.
I was very interested in what you guys.
straight
had,
face though.
you know?
He had us sweating.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm originally from Kenya. I'm not from here. Kind of lived all over the world and finally found myself in the U.S. Came here.
You like taking long walks on the beach. I feel like he's giving us a dating profile on here. Like he letting the ladies know. Turn you on,
We
world
say my love
travelers.
life.
All right, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
yeah, but I went to boarding school all my life. I left home when I was about 6 or 7 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's really kind of been my upbringing, which is mostly by myself. Really building family everywhere that I've been. You know, I tell these guys every day they're my family because I spend more time with them or people I've met, you know, in my life than I do with my actual blood, you know, siblings. Wow. Parents as well. But yeah, came here to study and play rugby.
Oh yeah. Mike's a badass. Y'all gonna find this out. So he be doing it all.
So, you know, rugby doesn't pay in the United States. It's not basketball. It's not football. So school had to be the other alternative. I went to school at Wichita State. I got my first degree in dental hygiene. Practiced for about a year and a half. I hated it.
He's like, nah.
But I was looking for something more stable because at that point I didn't care to be a nurse. Although I worked in the nursing field for about 7 to 8 years. I was a CNA, a med tech, a phlebotomist.
Damn.
And then, yeah. And then I got out of that when I hated it, went back to college again. Then I got my degree in business. I got a degree in business, information systems, and accounting. So started learning how to code, how to write software.
Oh wow.
You gotta be careful around Mike. Yeah, don't show him your computer
I
screen.
will
You trying to learn what
trust
AlphaClicks
me,
does.
I am very far from that edge.
Okay.
Yeah. But then at the time I was still living in Wichita. That's when I met these guys. Cool guys. I was at that point in my life where I was actually trying to be serious about life because, you know, you go through college and you go through that 20s party phase and this and that. Then I was like, okay, I need to surround myself with people who actually challenge and motivate me. Then I met these guys, and at first he was like, man, these are cool guys to kick you with. We kicked it hella hard for a little bit. Then, you know, life had to happen. Like, we had to actually get serious about life. And the good thing I liked about it is, like, when it was time to switch it on, when it was time to, okay, we're about to elevate.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Everybody was on that wavelength. It wasn't so-and-so's just, you know, dead weight. We got to pull with us wherever we're going. It was more like, okay, everybody, good to go? Check. Let's go.
Hey, okay.
That's fire.
So I was working at a spice blending company.
Is that like street pharmacist? What does that mean?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
In the food industry, so I can.
Oh, you like that?
Hey, okay. Well, I'll tell you, he giving a full dating pro. He could travel the world. Oh, man.
Yeah, so I was working there for about 2-3 years, and at the time when I finished school, I helped them implement an ERP from scratch. An ERP.
What's ERP for those that don't know?
It's software that basically runs a manufacturing company from the front office all the way to time clocks, all the way to the manufacturing shop floor. So I helped them put all that together, and when I was done, I was asking for a raise. I was asking for $55,000.
Extra or like to get to that point?
No, as a base.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I was getting paid like 30 grand or something. Some shit
Dang.
like that.
He was like, pay me double.
So at that point, I looked at like the national average, you know,
He did his
calm.
research. We should have known Mike did his research. He didn't just come out of thin air. He knew.
I walked in there knowing I didn't have, you know, experience to ask for more than what was listed. And I was like, just get me here. I mean, that's kind of the bare minimum. And at the time, that company straight up told me, we can't afford to have that kind of salary on payroll. So I said, well, if that's the case, then, you know, I know how marketable I am. I know I can go somewhere else.
Sound like you can't afford Mike to me. Yeah, okay.
And then they basically, so the software company that I was working with, the one we bought the software from, learned that, you know, I was open to opportunities. I had entertained an offer from Illinois. At the time, to me, it was crazy for somebody to want to pay me $65,000. So I was like, man, hell yeah. Then when that company learned about me wanting to leave, because I was already on my way out, then they're like, no, why don't you come work for us? So I went from the customer side to now going in to work with the developers and also be involved in the sales life cycle for that product. At the time, it's funny because we were in Miami, right? When I took the job interview.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did an interview while we were in Miami.
in an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm here on the phone trying to, hey, when can you get here? When can you do this? They didn't care about my skill set because we'd already worked for a period of up to 6 months together, so they knew who I was and what I was bringing to the table. So and they're like, well, what is it going to take to get you to Texas? And then at that point, I was like, nobody's ever asked me what do I want to get paid in my life. That's a foreign concept to me. Yeah. So I looked at what I was asking initially. I was like, you know what? I mean, I've seen in movies, they take a piece of paper, they write a number, and they do that, right?
You did that? Hold up, did you do that?
I didn't. I wish I did.
I was like, that is badass.
He really tripped it up like he was like, and I wrote the piece of paper and I said,
Yeah, I was like, that is gangster. He's like, I folded my laptop camera down so they can see it.
No, yeah. And then, so I told them to double what I was asking that company in Wichita. And they said, can you be here in 2 weeks?
You're like, I'm at the airport.
Literally.
I'll change the flight right now.
I was telling these guys, I think this is too good to be true. Like, you don't just throw numbers and people don't ask questions. They just go, can you be here in 2 weeks? And I was like, what? What is that? No, like, I got to go put in my 2 weeks and this and that. And then I was talking to the boys. I'm like, this is happening too fast. I mean, I can't really. They're like, no, don't worry about it. We came back home from vacation. They packed my house. Literally in one day, they moved me to Fort Worth at the time.
Damn.
And I started my life in Texas.
And everything was good? Like, they came in, they paid you double, all that?
Everything.
That's sick. That is like a movie. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
You don't hear stuff like that. This is why I like doing like just these little impromptu recording this type of stuff. You learn so much about people. Like,
Right.
I'd have never guessed all this. I just thought you were strict like to fire people. That's it.
Yeah, I don't fire people.
It's like for the record. Hey, Ian, okay, can you get some behind the scenes with the phone and then the Osmo, the flat?
Yeah, so then, so I'm now working in Dallas, software company in Grapevine. And I was their guy who, because I was young, I was really ready to, and I was okay with traveling. So they were just sending me all over the country to all manufacturing plants, either to sell, to design, their prototypes they want to design, to kind of build a custom solution for these customers. Because most of them, we were specialized more in the food industry, because that was a market that wasn't really tapped out with a lot of software. But with changing standard and code, everybody now needs the software to track their food, what goes in, when it went in, traceability in all its entirety. Did that for about 2 years, just traveling around the country and teaching people how to use software, training, documenting, building use case, all the good stuff that you guys live, on an everyday basis. And then one of the customers, I was at the end of my contract. It was like a 8-month contract. They didn't have anything. They were all on paper, so I had to design that whole system for them from scratch. Right. And at that time, they were building a new plant that was fully robotics. A new, excuse me, a new PE just acquired the company. So they had just pumping it with money, and they wanted to automate food production. And this is a company that makes, sausages, a lot of meat toppings that go on pizza.
Okay.
It supplies a lot. You guys don't know that you eat it every day, but I'm 100% sure that you do,
Dang.
because it comes from there.
But it's one
And-
place supplies like everybody.
Correct,
Dang.
pretty much.
Okay.
And it's made by robots.
What?
So at that time, when I came in, they were having project meetings of designing this new building. And I was like, I've integrated softwares before. I don't really, can you project manage for us? I could do that. So I took over that project. It was like a $200 million project to build this massive manufacturing plant from the ground up.
Oh my.
Yeah. So got in 2 years, we had a fully operational plant that had robots from Italy, from Germany, that is fully automated. All these systems communicating back and forth with each other autonomously, and yeah, it was a big operation.
I now feel dumb, even though we do AI stuff. Like, I feel,
It's like, what am I sitting right next to this guy?
It was a lot of there's a lot of people involved, and a lot of people who actually knew what they were doing. That's why it was essential. And in my side, I'm always very up and upfront about I need people who are qualified and capable. That way, we do something right, do it the first time, saves us money, saves us time, and we get the ROI starts to come in sooner than going through a lot of dry runs.
like that QNC, qualified and capable.
Yes.
Qualified and capable.
So went there. No, first, when that project was done, so I was ready to leave, I told them, why don't you go hire somebody? There's a lot going on here. I need to give it all to them, all the white papers. Everybody needs to know, what's here. They asked me who I would have preferred. I told them I wanted a kid fresh out of college.
Why?
In software, we have habits.
Yeah.
We have our little shortcuts and tools and ways we get things done. And sometimes when you have an environment that's overly integrated, you need to forget what you know and kind of read what's in front of you.
Is it a hard to teach old dogs new tricks type of thing?
1,000%.
Okay. Yeah.
1,000%. So at that time, they're like, well, we don't really have time to do all that. Why don't you just stay? I'm like, doesn't work that way.
You like got that piece of paper again?
I'm on a non-compete. This actually happened.
So non-compete.
At the time, I was like, I can't even work for you, even though, because I like the place. They moved me to Dallas. They did a whole bunch of stuff. And this is my little note and slide.
Yeah.
So I told them, I could work for you guys, but you got to figure out, because I'm employed by somebody else. I'm here on their behalf, and I'm pretty sure I signed a non-compete. So they're like, don't worry about that. You want to though, right? I said, yeah. I'm in the city now because I don't got to commute all the way from Fort Worth every day to Dallas. So what is it going to take? So I told them, I'm going to write you guys a proposal.
Oh, shit. You did slide the paper?
And I sat down, I wrote a proposal. I said, I want a new department. This is what I want it to look like. This is what I want it to run. This is what I want to be paid. This is how many team members I want on my team. This is everything I wanted. And you guys will also handle the non-compete stuff. So they paid $100,000 for me to leave that company I was working at.
Dang.
And they gave me everything I asked for except a title, because I wanted to be a CIO.
Chief Integration Officer, is that?
Chief Information Officer.
Information, okay.
Yes. So they're like, we're paying you CIO money. In this company, our brand, the way we work here, we're really not big on titles. Everybody is kind of on the same wavelength. You talk to whoever. There's no hierarchy for you to climb like that. So that makes sense.
You just had him start calling you Big Mike then? Or no? Big Mike.
Somebody did call me that one, and I did not like that.
My bad.
The enforcer.
Anywho, so I worked there as their director of information technology. I did that for about 4 years. And I think there comes a time you outgrow certain things or people around you, because the projects were done. the plant is running like it's supposed to. Now there's a full team department
Starting to get,
dedicated
like
to
stagnant.
correct.
Yeah.
And then I started to plateau. So now there's no challenges for me, and I'm a problem solver.
For sure.
So every day was the same thing, and I started feeling like I was a very overpaid IT guy.
Yeah.
Because every time somebody's computer wasn't working, find Mike. We had a full MSP company dedicated for that, and we had also help desk guys, but people would seek me out.
Dang.
So over time, that kind of started to wear on the inside. The money was good, but I started kind of losing purpose a little bit, and that's that reason that you wake up every morning. It just kind of started going away because I felt like I'm back in the matrix now, where
The rat
you
race.
just clock in, clock out. There's really nothing challenging. You go say hi to everybody, be fake. Things I did not really resonate well with.
Yeah.
At that particular time when I was going through this, I had started talking to Steven and the boys about, I don't think that this is, the thing I want to do. I wanted to go independent and go back in the contracting space and do business consulting. So I had started to position myself. I had, filed for the LLCs and all the other things that you need to do initially to get a business started. And at that time, it just so happened that my terms for departure from that company, because it got there, and I got paid a really good severance package to leave, because they didn't have any challenges for me to solve anymore, and I felt like I was very underutilized. And I was like, what are we doing next? So they're like, well, we've come to the finish line. We're not going to give you a new title. We're not really going to pay you more than what you've got. Could be bonuses or whatever, but it just became one of those things that I was afraid of, where, you just get told to shut up and here's some money, just shut up.
Yeah.
And I have a voice and I like to be heard. I like to think that I'm bringing value and also get credit where it's due.
Yeah.
So those things weren't happening. People started taking my credit for my work that I did, and they didn't understand what they were even, talking about. So we sat down with the board chairman, and I was like, I think I've outgrown everybody here, and it's time for me to move on to the next thing. And so they were nice enough. They prepared what was like a full year's salary to send me away.
Dang.
And
It's
so
the
now,
Cybertruck. I'm just kidding.
so at that time, I'm free. I didn't really have a lot to do. And then I was like, I've been going around the country helping businesses. Why don't I do it for the boys? I've got time now. They don't have to worry about, cost and this and this and that. I've got time. I'm getting paid somewhere else. Let's go take, the business from where it's at to the next level.
Dang.
So
That's
that's how it happened.
So I got a
And-
question. So like when that happened, like what was that conversation like in your eyes? Like, and where were you at when you brought Mike on, and like what was kind of?
So, I mean, you've seen, we've kind of built this business off of like collaboration. It's brought on Luis, brought on Larry, and everybody we bring on. It's not like every time that we hit a new challenge, I feel like it's time to recruit new talent, or like somebody who is going to take us to the next level. I don't know everything. I went to college, but I'm not a learned business guy, so bringing on people that are able to do the things I'm not able to do. So just seeing that, Mike's like, oh, I want to start doing this on my own. For me, I wanted to help him realize small business, because manufacturing is a lot different than small business and sales and stuff like that. So bringing him on to be able to show him, hey, this is something you could replicate, and we could replicate. Build this consulting into something that you could do for small businesses and be able to have a blueprint for whether it's service-based businesses or anything that you could sell to other people and bring them on and help them. So that's kind of how I seen it, and like I say, he was getting paid already, so
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
it was a
having-
new
No-brainer.
challenge.
Yeah.
It was a new challenge for me too, because I had no idea how to position myself.
And you was like, hell
to
yeah. Like
small
you like that
business.
type of stuff though, right?
I I mean, I've got a pretty good grasp of it now.
Okay.
Like, I know how to walk and talk to small businesses compared to, big manufacturing companies, because those people like PowerPoints and
Yeah.
reports and all these things and analytics versus small business. Nobody cares about that. They just want to know that this thing I've been struggling with, you've helped me.
Yep.
So
Solve a
that
pain point.
everything just changed for me, and that's what I was saying earlier before we got on that. It's taken it's a learning curve for me still, just knowing how to walk into places. That's why I was saying earlier that I need to have all my ducks in a row before I step into somebody's business, because I have to be able to provide value off the jump. And that's kind of why we've gotten where we're at now, where I say, before I go out there trying to sell XYZ, let's do it in-house. I want to have a working prototype that we're going to bring people here and show them in X amount of time. This is where we started. This is what we done. We failed here. We did really good here. Here's the outcome. Would you like something similar? Here's the tools we used. Here's the partners that we worked with. Here is so-and-so. And that's, taking us from 1X to 10X.
That's huge. And so having a working prototype.
Exactly.
How close are you to that point? And what's your plan going forward with Elite? Are you ever plan to leave Elite Electric or the Elite brand?
No. So we are building off of that brand, and it's now become a brand. It's not just a company anymore. So, and we have very similar life goals. The way I see my future, it's kind of similar to his. What I want my family to have, or that presentation, it very much aligns with what he wants. And I think Luigi's on the same page as well. And that's why when I got into partnership with them two into the company now, it was, okay, and we have one company, we could stack from here. We could, get a company, get in there, optimize it, step away from it, let it keep running, let's get into the next thing. And that's, I think, what we want to do long term, is get into all these companies or ventures.
Plug your frameworks in and then
Put the tools in there, put the processes and controls, let it start, netting profit, and then we can focus on the next thing.
Nice. Now, you got a question?
No, that's huge. That's really, really awesome. That's really, really good.
I like how calm and collected you are about it. You can tell you're so analytical. No, it's cool. For real. Because me, I'm like, and you're just like I just see you analyzing everything. And it's so methodical, everything. I got a question for you, if you don't mind. Because I've seen, obviously I've known you a long time. And going from not saying you a huge partier, but I know there's a point in time where you didn't take business as serious.
Yeah.
What changed for you, and what made all that difference? Because again, it was but now it's I see, I watch it and I'm so fucking proud of you, because I've just seen the growth just in the last few years. It's been amazing. So it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big partier, honestly.
Okay, I wasn't trying to put you out there. You was.
It is what it is.
That's an understatement.
Man, for me, I've always been a hard worker, but back then I didn't take business as serious. I was more of, I was making good money I was partying a lot, and I was doing business, and I was making decent money. But then I think what changed it, I have 3 daughters, and one of the biggest things that probably changed it, we used to have a spot, my old house. I know Ian's been there, you've been there. We used to call it the Fresh Market. It was just the spot downtown.
I had no
I don't know
clue
if
it
you
was
even
called
knew that,
that,
but
for the
every
record.
time, right after the clubs lay out, people were coming by.
Oh, you're talking about the one by downtown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how to name.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was a fresh market.
the
Dang.
thing is, people would just show up randomly. I'm having a chill weekend with my kids, and 2 a.m. somebody's knocking on the door. Oh, are we partying? And we're like, okay, that's not cool. So that, and then I think just there was a point where I'd have $10 in my account, and I'd go buy $8 of drinks, and then just kicking it like that. And I got to a point where I did get my truck. I had a big black truck. I got that repoed, and then I ended up moving back to my mom's house, because it was I was just kind of making just some bad decisions as far as I don't think I mean, I would say I probably had a drinking problem. I don't think I wasn't over the point where I was just doing crazy things, but I was spending my money in the wrong places, you know, and my brain wasn't focused on the things that I needed to be as far as business. So I did that, moved back to my mom's, kind of restructured what I was doing because that was right before Elite started. And then whenever Elite started Elite in November 1st, 2019, I mean, since then I moved out of where I was at, you know, downtown, got my own spot, and then just started grinding from there. So brought on Luis and Larry. We brought on Luigi's nephew right afterwards. So we had bringing on people. I think that brings an accountability as well, because you have other people's families that you're you're having to feed and stuff. So I think just adding to the team, and that helped as well. Like because we brought them on like pretty much automatically. So I knew how to get business. I just wasn't about it like I should have been. So
Gotcha. Would you say that like, cause like I went through a similar situation. Like I had to move back in with my grandparents, and I was like 14 days away from my car getting repossessed, and my mom was giving me money and stuff. But like, it was like a good reset for me. Like I don't feel like anything put a fire under my ass until like that. I was like 30 years old, grown ass man, like living in my grandparents' basement. And then it's like, I built a company so fast. But it was like, there's another, one of my mentors like said, he's like, a lot of times like there's people out there that won't even work with business owners unless they've cycled, meaning they've lost everything and had to rebuild it back up, because like they don't understand what it's like to have everything then lose everything. Like, do you think that was like a good turning point? And like, do you think that made you better now, having gone through that?
for sure, it did. I think that that had to happen to get the mental where it needed to be to even be successful or start growing. Because I don't think. I think for men in general, everybody, there's a certain there's some guys at 25, they're already about it. It's really about what you're exposed to, how you were raised, and my parents they've always lived check to check. I mean, they still do. So just not being able to have anybody to say, hey, this is what this is supposed to look like. I think that just hit different whenever you do go through more of like a traumatic type thing, or something that's a low point, kind of help. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. What do you think, like mindset wise? Like, what do you do to keep your mindset in a good spot? And like, how important would you say that is in business?
And I would say that for both of y'all, because it's two separate sides. Like you're more social, again, more of the sales, more of the attraction, and you're more back in, obviously, developer in that aspect. So both mindsets are super, super important when it comes to running a business. So for both of y'all, what does that look like?
I'd say for myself, I've always had just a very like hustler mindset. I think for myself, like my chill or my calm is just like hanging out with my kids. That's like my reset. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years to be able now to where I'm at the point where I can mentally check out when I'm with my kids. So I spend that quality time with them. But then whenever I'm outside of that time, there's nothing else I think about except for work.
How to grow the brand?
Yeah. And that's what keeps me on the less, not stressed and sane, is just that quality time with my kids, being able to be present, being able to go to whatever events or do whatever with them. And that's really the most. I mean, I play golf too. Sometimes that's my other thing. But other than that,
It's a good segue. He taught me how to play golf.
Yeah.
Who's better?
He is better.
Okay.
He said, he said over there, he said, don't play with me.
No, I was looking for something, obviously, to spend more time with the boys, and I'm a competitor.
Of course.
And like I said earlier, I love a challenge.
Yep.
When I don't know how to do something and I get in and it's humbling me, there's some sort of endorphin juice I get from that.
Yep.
That I'm like, you ain't, but then when I master it, or when I feel like I'm good enough, I know what I'm doing, then I'm like, okay, I'm good. What's next?
Yeah.
That is my biggest thing. Like that's my one thing that will elevate me to the skies, I feel like, and it will break me
Absolutely.
at a given point.
Yeah.
It's we went snowboarding. I've never been skiing. I've been snowboarding before, and I tried to challenge myself. I was like, you know what? I've never been skiing. I don't know how to, but
They don't have that in Kenya.
bro, all we do is run.
Crazy. That was funny.
I know there's no
You'll
mountains
catch us
anywhere.
You'll catch us in Boston if you can catch us.
You doubt it.
I say that like I'm a runner. I'm terrible. I don't run.
You still probably better than me. I don't like that.
Yeah, but it, like I said, the way it would break me is like I did that only one day,
Yeah.
and I was done.
Yeah.
And I felt like I needed everything I would needed to get from there. I did. So for the whole trip, I was just done skiing.
Dang.
And to me, I was okay. Everybody's like, "Bro, what? I'm good."
Figured it out. I'm good. I figured it out. First day, I'm straight.
Yeah. I lost my thought. What was your question earlier?
But just what do you do like keep your mindset like sharp? Like you listen to podcasts, like
Yeah,
and how
so,
important is that in business?
I read a lot. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I hate reading. Because I'm always like writing some report or something. So for me to get a
You
break
like
from
words,
it, where it's a different kind of, sensory, it helps me that way. But then, Steven's a big motivator of mine. I've never met anybody who's as resilient and nonstop as he is. And obviously, I'm not from here. I don't have a plan B. I am the plan A, B, C, and
That's what
D.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm
You know what I
talking
mean? So I've got a family, I've got other people who kind of rely on me, and I am that to them. So there's really no other way. This is the way. So there's that, and then I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Him and I share a lot of content from, a lot of business people who've kind of done what we've done. And, we stay challenging each other on what do you think of this? It's
Yeah.
a good perspective. Can this be useful in our business? Some things are good, some things we're not there yet, some things, and also kind of understanding that we are going where we're going, and it's going to take a series of not perfect takeoffs every time.
Yep.
We're going to start something, we can drop the ball, we can pick it up again and keep going. So I'm pretty sure they're sick of me talking about rugby every time because I always reference rugby and I go,
Like, what are you talking about?
you'll see me bring down a giant and you also see me get hit stupid sideways. I've broken a shoulder. I've been hurt several times, but we always go back. Yeah. And the question is, why do we keep going back to something that probably, is hurting you and you're not getting paid to play? You just do it out of passion and mostly like, character building.
Sure.
So in rugby, everybody has a place. You could be the fastest guy, you could be the strongest guy, you could be, a big boy. My current rugby team right now in Dallas, we have somebody who's about 350 pounds. This guy cannot even run, but he can walk. But two people cannot bring him down.
Dang.
So when we need things to slow down, just give him the ball. So I need to breathe and reassess where everything is at. I know he's going to go about 2-3 yards, hold on to that ball. Nobody's going to get it out of his hands while we rearrange and figure out what is our next move.
Got your breath.
Chess. Okay. I
So
didn't know
same
rugby was
thing,
like that.
same mentality in business. You go, we just need to have everybody who understands what they're good at. We don't need to have superstars who do the same thing. Like if you say, for example, if he's doing marketing, I'm doing marketing, you're doing marketing,
Makes no sense.
where are we
You
going?
have some good marketing, but not much
Right?
else.
Yeah.
If you're doing marketing, I'm doing operations, you're doing finance, you're doing, recruitment and everything, then now we have people who you may not be good at all these other things, but you're killing in what you're good at.
Sure.
So when we get put together, we have a team that you can't beat.
Like the Avengers. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. That's what drives me. That's what motivates me every morning. That's what, every day, like we work in the business. And then at the end of the day, him and I stay on Zoom a lot. Y'all met me. But that's when we work on the business.
Yep.
And also like I've been a good catalyst at bringing a different perspective of this is what I see from the outside. This is what other people are doing from the outside. And also being open to learning, this might not necessarily apply to us, but if we tweak it this way, it could be relevant, or we're not there yet.
Yep.
We are, biting more than we can chew at the moment. So just let's scale back. Let's work on small bite sizes till we get to that bigger price that we want. So, yeah.
Good way to put it. So talk to me about like the Elite brand. Why Elite? What made you come up with that? And then like, did it just start as just a company, and then now it's like, oh, this is a lifestyle? Like what is that like?
So whenever it started Elite, I went on a freelancer, and I was like, I did research. I was like, okay, so what makes people, like what colors, because I know some of that's
Oh, you got some
psychology.
psychology.
It
Some
is.
of that's psychology and stuff. What makes people, the things that, I value, integrity, quality, things like that. Looked up what do people associate, and it
with
said
that, yeah.
blue and yellow, bold, something like that. So I went to a freelancer, said, hey, I want a logo for electric company that is, it can stand as an icon by itself, because I like to have the branding where you don't have to have the whole thing, but icon by itself, blue and yellow, bold letters, and kind of went through, and he came through with some ideas. They weren't exactly what I liked. Had him go back and redo it, and I say they came up with this logo as is with it was, at the time, it was blue and yellow. And then since then we've changed it to like black, yellow, and white.
So
But
you may not know this, but yellow is my favorite color.
It is.
And I don't have anything yellow. But
except for that.
He said that to get the job, huh?
no, but I understand what he's talking about, the psychology.
For sure.
And, when you see yellow, like what kind, I watch a lot of nerdy stuff and documentary science type of stuff, like what your brain does. And they did like a brain scan when people were showing different colors. And yellow kept eliciting more synapses in the brain. And that was doing something by just looking at it without even saying or reacting.
It's
You
like
just get-
exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I was like, okay.
And I think just being, like you said, young and really just in this industry, like I said, all of our stuff's branded. I got same as you guys with the plus and all that. Like it's the same thing. You see it's the same meeting. Elite, the best. Next level. Like that's just what the meaning is. It's just that's the best. But I think just the branding part, like being young, being on social media, you don't usually think of contractors, as when you think of contractor, you think of a guy with, plumber's crack and dirty pants, and all that stuff. So I think just with us just being young and liking to be social, it just kind of flowed, I guess.
I call it, we're big disruptors. A good example is we're like the Amazon of construction space. You remember what online retail used to be before Amazon came along? And Amazon was like, oh, that's how you normally do it? All
Okay.
right. We're going to go do something different here. Everybody might not like it. Everybody might complain about it. But before you know it,
They're going to do it our way soon.
everybody. Right. So that's their mentality of let's be disruptive. Whatever we're thinking about, if it makes sense, if the numbers are there, if the data's there, we're game. Let's go in. It's not going to look normal. It's not going to look what people are used to seeing. We're not the regular type of people you see, in business ownership and also like electrical contracting at that, putting as much content as we put out, or like the branding, or how we do networking or events to try and, get our name out there. And other people go, those guys are doing too much, or they're doing this and that. Yeah, we are. And guess what?
You talking about us, right?
And we're going to keep doing it.
All marketing is good marketing.
Yep.
Hey, we good on battery? Okay, cool. That's cool, man. What? So you guys do like a lot of events and stuff too. That's one thing. Like, I wish that and we're starting to do a little bit more, but I wish we did more of, is like, you guys are like sociable, and man, you know me forever. I've been super introverted forever. I don't like people. like hanging around my people and that's it. But like y'all are always doing events, and like you just did something with like where you rented out space, you had like a bar, and you do like all kinds of cool stuff. Like how important do you think that's been like for your guys' growth? Do you think that's helped, or is that just we're doing that because we can now, we're reaping the benefits of what we created type of thing, or is it dual purpose?
I think it helps. One thing that we're big on is community, Wichita community. We, there's a lot of people that support us. A lot of our, whatever socials or any of the kind of following that we have they're very, it's not just people from everywhere. It's our people in Wichita. It's a lot of people that we're actually really close with. And I love building connections. Like all my friends, I've had friends from, 15 years that I'm able to get them together, and everybody links together. It's it's weird because it's like I'm a connector. I like
Superpower.
all my people. They're just very genuine. And whenever we get together, now they're friends. Now I see people I've connected. They're hanging out. I'm not around, but they're doing the same thing. And I really like connecting people, genuine people, and I like doing things for the Wichita community. I think it's helped. It is a business decision, but it's also for me. I feel like it's just more. I'm just like hanging out with people and getting people together.
Yeah.
But it does help in business for sure because people do see it. I don't track all the numbers all the time. Mike's been pretty good about trying to make sure that we're doing things that make sense financially, but I just like to do stuff.
I don't know if I should be worried he's laughing. Like,
So
the Cybertruck made sense financially.
well,
So.
yeah. But
No, I'll tell you the story for Cybertruck in a minute.
but no,
You know,
it's
it's a story.
it's both, and I'm sure I know it helps for exposure, because there's people I haven't seen in 15 years, and it happens all the time. Just like, man, I see you guys are doing this and this, like, and people will just show up to events and stuff, and it's
That's got to feel good.
yeah, it does. It feels
It
good,
does.
and I like to see that at least. In business, sometimes you feel like you're just going in, and it's not really, maybe some of the stuff is a little ridiculous or you could do without, but whenever people that you have no association with for
Like
a long
validation.
time, they
Yeah.
say it. They say, hey, I see you guys doing this big, then I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. Like people are watching. And
That's the biggest thing I think I noticed too. Like, people are always watching, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
especially like when you're new and starting out, like nobody says shit, right?
Yep.
Like
And
nobody
they
says
watch it.
nothing. Like, and then like you start getting bigger and bigger, and then it's like they start coming out the rafters.
Oh, hey,
like,
how you-
I see you. Like, it's,
Yeah.
but it gets like bigger and
Little
bigger.
like here, little like there, little share one here, share there.
There's so many times where like I'm talking to somebody about something completely random. They're like, "Oh yeah, I seen you live," and I'm like, "You was on there? You ain't like my shit. Oh, but you still watching? Okay."
Told you to comment, you ain't comment.
There's obviously a lot of like positive comments and stuff like that, but I think there's a big discourager for a lot of people like getting into business, like just feeling like they're alone and just trying to push through that because it is like a
Yeah.
lonely time, especially in the beginning.
Yeah. Also, one thing that we're trying to get good at is also understanding that success in business, yes, it's a lot about the numbers, but those numbers don't always go on a graph that rises. There's going to be days where you're not having the wins financially, but then, intrinsically you're winning from the community loving you back. If the jobs are not flowing in, but you have people, who want you at certain things, they seek you out because you bring a certain aspect or a certain feel to whatever event they're having, that speaks volumes. That is, you've already made yourself a preferred somebody for service or for a product by just for them thinking of, who should be here right now? It's Jeff. And that guy, when he's here, people seem to be just, buzzing. Everybody's social. Nobody's really worried about the $200 ticket they bought to this event or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But for them to want to reach out and say, hey, we want you here, that is a win that's very intrinsic and doesn't have really a cash value to it. And yes, I am the gatekeeper of we need everything to make sense, but it's a learning curve every day for me because there's certain things I'm having to relearn that, not everything equals numbers on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I stay challenged that way. And it's, right now we're going through things where I'm like, okay, let's analyze everything. Should we be doing that more? Should we be doing this less? Should we invest here? What has a direct ROI? And then the ROI is not always money. And it could be, we did something in the community and it helped school or something or a soccer team or whatever. Those people will remember us forever.
Yeah.
And if that's just marketing that's going, that we don't have to reinvest more money to see it come back. But it's already out there. And that goodwill is doing what it always does.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's huge. So speaking of numbers on a spreadsheet, though, there's a story behind this. Behind this over 6,000 pound
Oh my
behemoth
God.
behind
Okay.
this. Let's hear it.
It's wrote off at least.
So this was a personal challenge of mine. And like I said, I always love a good challenge, right? Before coming into this country, I had told myself that I would, and I wrote this down. I think I have it somewhere in my papers that I came to this country with. That I would drive. At the time, I wanted a Subaru WRX. I was crazy about that car. So just dreaming about it, I was like, one of these days, I'm going to own one of these. And then we got here. I got my 1998 Toyota Camry.
Close.
And then I wrecked in it, and I ended up with a Chevy Malibu. I made my way up to Subaru, but I couldn't afford the WRX, so I stuck with the Legacy.
Okay.
So,
It's close. It's close.
So to me, it felt like a win, but then it didn't feel like a win.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, I didn't realize what I set out to do, but then I'm still way better off than even most people who've been here with the resources that I did not have. And it's just pure me just driving myself and telling myself, you can't stop, So I told myself when the Cybertrucks were initially, because I've always been a big fan of Elon Musk and just how he thinks. He's very thorough, but he will be there with you. Like, he will ask you to do crazy stuff, but he'll be there with you doing the crazy stuff with you. And so since he started doing SpaceX, that's when I was like, man, what is he doing? Then they had this, they would say, I think I had just gotten a Jeep at that time. And I was over small cars. So I was like, from here, I can only go up. I can't go down. Now I want a big vehicle. And at that moment, I was like, I'm gonna buy me a Cybertruck. When he was doing the demo for the car initially as a concept, I was like, I'm gonna get me one of those. So I took a screen capture. I put that as my screen background on my phone for about 2.5 years. So every day I would look at that and I go, I'm close. I knew it would be stupid money, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work so hard to where I'm gonna make money that I can buy a vehicle and not even have to think about it, and I will do it. So when I met the boys and I told them too, I was like, listen, this is a goal of mine. We're gonna get here. I don't care how, but we will. And sure enough, we did. So
That's huge.
Long
Congratulations. That's huge.
Long
So
story
huge.
short, for me, it was I set a goal, I went out, I accomplished it, and really that's where it ends for me.
Yeah.
Because I confirmed to myself that I can do anything I put my mind
If I
to.
can conceive it, I can make it
If I,
happen.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's funny. He had a WRX. My first car that I purchased myself was a WRX. That's funny. I guess everybody wanted one of them.
Right.
That's sick. Yeah, Cybertruck, nice though. And I got to drive it today. It drove itself. That was really weird, but that thing's pretty sick.
He was driving it like he stole it. Like it
I was late. I was actually late for an appointment on the way back, so I was driving it like I stole it.
I got a question. So I'm 23. I'm a 6-figure business owner alongside of Jeff. So like being 23, I feel like I have a good, semi-good head on my shoulders in that aspect. But like any advice to really anybody looking to get into business, whether they're younger, older, whether you could go back, talk to yourself and like, hey, focus on this and only this. This will take you to the next step. What would that be from both of y'all in regards to being awesome, amazing business owners right now and like being owners and of this awesome brand y'all got?
Let me tell you something people say or take very lightly.
Talk to me.
Listen to your gut instinct. That's what's got me where I am today. If any office, any opportunity that I've walked into that I wasn't unsure of, I got out. And sometimes it's a little painful in the beginning, but in the long run, it pays.
Yeah.
Because one, you're gonna do something you actually like, and when you like something, it doesn't feel like work. Like I said, it's cliche. You know, people say, hey, find something where you're working and it doesn't feel like work, and you'll outwork anybody. So with that mindset, for me, it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. My bad decisions is I went to dental hygiene school. I was paying international student rates. I paid for a whole program. I didn't even get paid enough to pay that debt. And then I changed my mind again. And then I went back to college. So, but that was my gut instinct telling me, hey, this is not what you're meant to do. Just go back. And I did. And since my entire life being in boarding school, I've always had to make decisions based on what I know. And I didn't have anybody to ask to go for advice. Hey, what should I do? It's more like, does this feel right? Yes. Does it feel wrong? Have I fucked up several times? Most definitely.
Everybody, yeah.
But then I've learned lessons that nobody can, teach me because I've been there, done it. I know the outcome, good or bad, but at least I know.
Yeah.
And had I been 23 knowing what I know now, man, I would.
You'd be up there with Elon Musk, huh?
I would. The thing is like this. I mean, right now, obviously, we have different mindsets, but it took us a minute to get there, right? But then we did all the partying, all the crazy stuff that we did. Till now, for him, it was serious. Having kids, and then you had to hit that low point to your eyes to open, right? But if you have people, and I have so much respect for you, and you know why?
Why?
I love the the no-nonsense attitude about a lot of people, and 90% of the time it's unspoken. You will know who has time to entertain a whole bunch of nothing, and you'll know also somebody who's like very objective and to the point, and they also will not bullshit you. They will tell you like it is, good or bad, do what you need to do, and we've never spoke beyond the Zoom.
Yeah.
And that's
this is the
literally
second
him.
time I've ever talked to you, yeah.
And that's literally him. Literally.
Correct.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, it resonates without even
100%.
saying anything. I know, like, this is somebody who thinks like me. I can, like, we are kind of on the same wavelength without even, and that's happened to me a lot in people I've met in life. You just know that this person will get me, or they understand where my perspective is coming from. And
there's the term, and I don't like using this term, but it's like that real recognized real. But it's like somebody that's like plays at the same level or same wavelength. It's like you almost instantly feel it. Like it's like my gut feeling so many times. It's like
100%.
we know it's like 1-on-1. He gets it. Like and there's some people that don't. So appreciate hearing that. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Great advice, by the way. Absolutely great. Something I've actually been trying to learn is just like following. We literally had this conversation a couple months ago. We were like, we're not following our gut. Like we're
literally, yeah.
We're like have blinders on right now, and the thing right in front of us, we're like going this way and going. And then, but then we're just like F everything else. All of this is a distraction. This is the only thing. So what do we need to do to get from here to there? What decisions? What actions? How much resources? How much money? What time?
Right.
How long do we need to stay up? And now it's just been like literally like crazy growth since that perspective has changed.
And it's cool, like you saying that, like listening to your gut and stuff. Because I've been trying to like ignore that feeling for the last since him. Like honestly, like I met him like I met you like I don't know, a year and a half ago. But like we started working together last October. It was really he was just asking advice because he had started a detailing business. And he's like, man, this entrepreneur thing is kind of lonely. Can I ask you some questions? I was like, yeah. And then like I got on the call and it was like one of the things is like, okay, he's one of the ones like. I was like, damn, I wish I could just hire this kid. And I was like, he's like me, he wouldn't work for nobody. I was like, I'm gonna have to start a business with this motherfucker to get him around me. Like, I mean, that's really what it was. And I was like, I can't just hire him. Like, I couldn't throw any amount of money at this kid. I was like, okay, we're gonna start something. I don't know what it is. Invited him out to that thing. We started this Alpha Clicks, and then the AI started taking off. But it's like I have my other business. Like we've been doing millions of dollars, and it's like, and that's not a brag. It's just like it's set in place. It took 5 years to get to that point, but it's like the AI is like we know it's the future. It's slowly taking off, and I've been trying to juggle playing both. To where like 2 months ago, I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna let everything." Not even trying to worry about selling. It's just like if I don't, it's gonna cost me more in the end.
Right.
And it's like going from making all this to like, fuck it, whatever happens, happens, and like going to this. But like now it's like popping $2,000 to $5,000 a day, like just from scratch. Like but it was 8 months of like, I'm trying to do both, and not going with my gut feeling. But now it's lately, and my energy's been amazing since then. Before that, I hated every fucking day. Like
Hated every day.
Like this year, like like trying to juggle both. Like,
sure.
oh, I was so pissed. My fucking doctor would call me like, and it's like, man, I don't get paid enough. But
It really wasn't until like we really sat down and he was just like, look, this is where we're at. This is what we need to do. And like, are y'all game? Hell yeah, let's go. Like, let's cut everything out. And however, I pulled like, I don't even know how many all-nighters, like getting what we need to get done. And 5 a.m., wake up.
back in the trenches, like
Take a 2-hour nap, come back to work and get it done. So it really was just like, remove everything. What's the gut feeling? Cool. And the way I see it, it's like he's the head chef, I'm the sous chef. Like he makes the big decision. Whatever he decides, he has the gut feeling. It's all right. I feel it. He's one of them ones where it's like, okay, he knows what's up. He's been in the game for a while. How can I support? Where am I needed? Where do we need to put action? Where do we need to put time and attention at? So
it is terrifying. Like, trying to ignore your gut too. But I agree with you is what I'm trying to say. It's a long-winded answer, but it's even when it's really hard. It's like if I'd have just listened 8 months ago, oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
What you got for me? What you got for me?
I'd say
23. I'm 23.
23.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
I'm
Talk
so
to me.
jealous of him, by the way. 23, like in the position he's in.
And I see there's some guys. There's a guy in Wichita, actually Jay, my boy Jay. He has a construction business, and he is 25, but his head is like on. You know, he's in the gym. He's doing. I'm just like, bro, I wish I could have been this at 25.
Right.
You know? It's
I tell him
crazy.
that all the time.
Literally.
But one thing, like closed mouth don't get fed. You know, being able to sell, being able to talk to people, being able to ask for what you want, you know, and a lot of times, you know, just recently a project, Mike went and talked with his old company he was with, and just to go sell a project, you know, he's doing the back end finance stuff, but jumping out there and reaching out to the connections and not being afraid to ask for things, having value, but also being able to go out and ask for it. Because if you don't, I mean, you're not gonna get anywhere. That's a big thing that I've preached to my kids, to everybody, because I mean, the worst they could say is no. You know,
Right.
Like with you making the videos and stuff like that, the things we've been watching in the evenings, your lives, like just being able to be vulnerable, being able to jump on and do it. Taking action also. That's not being afraid to take action, not doing the analysis paralysis, trying to make sure everything makes sense, just jumping in and getting to it. You're either going to find out that, you know, hey, I learned something, you got it right, or you're going to mess up and learn something and get it right the next time. So really just, you know, taking action and not being afraid to ask for what you want.
Sure.
Those are like two things that, I mean, it'll get you super far, you know, as long as you do that and stay being able to provide some kind of value to somebody that needs it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what my rugby coach tells me
Talk to
every
me.
time.
Duck.
He says, y'all gonna get sick of me with this rugby thing. He always says, I want you to go fuck up at 100 miles an hour. I don't care if you do good or you do bad, but do it at 100 miles an hour. Meaning, give all you've got when you're there. Whether it's a good decision or a bad decision, do it with everything you've got. Do it with conviction. Because when you look back, if it was a bad thing, you at least did it with everything you had. In that time, that was a good decision. Maybe 2 seconds later, it wasn't so great. But in that instinct, you did everything with all the might that you have in you.
Yep.
And if you walk like that every day, you show up like that every day, I'm okay with anything you do.
You gonna hear that one in the training this week.
That was fire.
Half of my stuff I just be hearing other people, and I'm like, and I'll give credit to you. Like, man, we had this guy over here
Mike, the enforcer.
talk about his rugby coach. He had 2 pieces of advice: 1, run faster and don't get hit, and then 2, no, I'm just kidding. No, that's good.
Keep playing, you to get fired.
So first off, like since we haven't done a podcast in a minute, which we were really good about every week, I don't remember. Did we talk about your revenue goal of 100K and you getting the tattoo?
I don't think we did.
Okay, but you achieved it.
Are we about to have a tattoo session?
So I want to. We might, but I do want to. We didn't even know we hit it.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, we broke 100K a while ago. We tracked numbers and whatnot, but
Yeah,
really
he did his
just,
first
getting
100K.
growing.
And he's like, if I do my first 100K, I'm getting the official plus tattoo. That
We broke 100K in one of our Stripe accounts, so it's literally we've done gross 100K within 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah, I mean, we almost double that now, but
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. But yeah, so you getting a tattoo, right?
Let's do it.
So
Yeah.
I'm getting
We
this
can go tonight. I'm down.
on record here.
Y'all trying to go?
get
Plus
it.
tattoos, elite tattoos.
I'll get one. I got a little room right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's fully tatted up too. Like,
Yeah, my
We'll
homie
get the plus elite collab tattoo.
Okay.
I was like, that is a live
Elite
ass.
class.
I can do an E.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to get one. The elite on there. I just haven't booked the appointment.
Dang, is it really? Do you really love your company if you don't have his tattoos?
Exactly.
I mean, I did my first 100K.
Are you really in it?
Oh, but yeah, it's been a journey. It's been absolutely crazy. Coming in from construction, being a GC, being a foreman, being like the youngest foreman in this company, like, and then just literally putting my 2 weeks in, getting fired, meeting Jeff, and I asked him. I was doing it. Like I was working full time, started a mobile detailing business, and I was trying to learn sales. So I started selling life insurance. So I was doing everything. I had no sleep, and then I met him at a marketing event he hosted here, and I was just like, "Oh, this guy knows something. Real recognize real.
Yeah.
This guy knows something." So I just asked him for an hour of his time. I'm like, "Look, what is this stuff? How is this supposed to be that lonely? People I know are talking about football and going and drinking and smoking, and I just want to make money." Like,
Right.
so this journey's been absolutely amazing. It's been crazy, and to be able to meet other individuals, like-minded other individuals like y'all, and to get great advice and see stuff like this is truly a blessing. God and the universe put us in place for situations like this. So
I just think it's so cool. You'll probably hit $250,000 in your first year, like actual business. Like,
Yeah.
That's insane.
yeah, I'm trying to touch
At
a milli.
fucking 23, that's nuts.
Trying
Like,
to touch a milli.
that is so nuts.
Trying to touch some commas.
All right, any last
Yeah.
words, anybody? Man, I appreciate y'all like coming down, like one from Kansas.
sure.
You didn't come that far, Dallas, but no, I'm just kidding. I appreciate you too, and I appreciate
I came
driving
all the way from Africa.
Hey, Kenya,
from the mountains, from the snow.
And I'm moving up the snows, down through the deserts.
all the way from Kenya just to be on this podcast. So,
Who do you know loves the elite more than this guy right here?
man, no, I appreciate driving the Elite Electric Mobile.
Yeah, man.
Super excited. So, and y'all are here for a couple days. What is it?
Probably leave Wednesday morning.
Sick. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this. And
Wait, where should they follow y'all? Where should they look y'all
yeah.
up if they need some work? What we
Yeah,
got
look-
personal branding.
Look
What
us
y'all
up,
got going on?
www.eliteelectric.com.
Oh, you got the .com?
.com. Yeah.
Dang.
We
Okay.
got the Elite Electric on Facebook or Instagram. _Elite Electric _
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll put it in the description too.
Yeah,
So,
awesome. And also shout out to the other brand, to the major brand.
what's the
It's
major
now,
brand?
it's Elite
Just
as
Elite.
a brand.
Dang,
It's now we have an
okay.
electrical company, we have an epoxy company. He's working on a run club.
Mike said put some-
nonprofit LLC.
Oh snap!
We're cooking.
Mike said put some respect on us, man.
Wait, can we do like a? I love working out. I work out all the time. So y'all doing like a run club as well?
Yeah.
We were just talking about doing like.
I'm just trying to see where this is going.
He was like, we should, because we have a community of about like 100 plus people, 200 plus people. We're trying to get people to work out and like be consistent working out because
Yeah.
I think it's the most important aspect. Man, that'd be cool to do something, and yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe we'll talk
building
about that.
community.
Yeah, build a community around that. Yeah, because working out, being healthy, being an entrepreneur.
We're
all that
going to have
stuff.
chapters.
Talk about it.
Talk about bite more than you can.
I can see the vision. We're gonna host like a plus elite collab run club here.
Hey, we should do something.
That would be fire.
That'd be fire.
No, that would be
Yeah.
fire. I could see the vision now. Bunch
Yeah.
of merch. Oh yeah. And then
fire.
and then collab merch. I'm sorry.
All right, calm down.
I got the vision. But yeah. What else? Sorry.
No, that's
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's it.
All
Appreciate
right.
y'all.
Well, until next time.
You're awesome.
Appreciate
See
it.
ya.